Welcome to the Let's Get Loud podcast. Normally I hear something. I think it's because I have my volume off on my thing. Sorry for that awkward pause, everyone. Now, listen, if you think I'm a fancy podcaster that edits, I do not. So we're keeping that pause and hopefully you stay long enough to actually hear the goods. Welcome to the Let's Get Loud podcast, solo podcast episode with A. Every Friday, I like to come and chat with you guys about what's on my mind, and I'd like to keep it current. I'm actually going to record two podcasts today because I'm headed on Monday to Chicago. I am so excited. I've never been to Chicago. I have a Shackley conference, which is super exciting. I have also been asked to speak on a panel on the main stage, which I'm also very excited for. I'm like nervous excited. And I always get anxious a little bit before I travel. And I'm always very busy before I travel because the world does not stop when I'm away. And I'm trying to prepare myself for here's what I'm trying to do. Okay, everyone. I am the worst and best multitasker. I feel like I'm realizing that all of my strengths are also my weaknesses when overused, and multitasking is one of them. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, ooh, I could be doing this, and this. And then I do the thing, but then I'm not fully present with what's happening in front of me. And I have been doing like brand trips like this now for 3 years. And the last time I did one in Punta Cana, I came home and I was like, Alicia, you did not do a good job of being present and mindful and in the situation. I was thinking about the kids. I was thinking about other work tasks. And here's what I do is I'm like, oh, it's fine. I can work while I'm away. It's no big deal. Like I can still do all my things. And I can, but I also need to be honest with myself that that is taking away from the experience. And when I came back from Punta Cana, there was also some things that I didn't do. Like I didn't do the morning workout. And you know what? I get in my own way sometimes. I think that wow, I didn't think I was going to start talking about all of this, but here we are. It's like you guys are my therapy. I just like unpack all the things. I again, it's one of my strengths and one of my weaknesses. I don't like to fail at anything. I don't like to be bad at anything. And because I don't want to look silly. I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. I have this desire to be like the best, which is exhausting. So let's say the workout in Punta Cana, well, I didn't want to go because subconsciously I'm like, well, what if I can't do it? What if I look silly? First of all, no one cares what I look like. No one's looking at me. They're all worried about themselves and their own workout. But I realized I was letting maybe my ego hold me back from fully ingraining myself in those situations. And I look forward to these trips so much. And then I go and I'm like ready to go home, missing the kids, brr, brr, brr. And I'm like, Alicia, this one was really extra good for me though, because I was gone for 5 days, the one in Punta Cana. And my parents had the kids and the kids did really well. So I think that was my reminder. I was like, okay, you don't have to spend so much time worrying about if the kids are going to be okay because this is just shown that they're fine. They're fine. And as much as I love time away from the kids, I love being with the kids. So I do really miss them. And it's okay if I miss them. But what I need to do is like really try to shift my focus to just enjoying that moment because it's so fleeting. It goes so fast. So, like, when I'm out to dinner with my team, I want to be like just there, not on my phone, not trying to post stuff there. So, what I'm going to try and do while I'm there is like capture stuff because I love sharing on social. Like, that's like my love language. So I'm going to try to capture it, but then like later in the night post about it, you know? And I was looking at my schedule for this trip and it's like insane. I arrive in Chicago and we're doing a Shackley Cares event, which I'm so grateful to be a part of. Again, that's something I'm putting my name on in the hat. Like I'm doing it. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. And we're doing like I think we're packing lunches for something. There's for someone, I don't know what we're doing. We're volunteering somewhere. And then that night's going to be kind of relaxed. I actually have a night we're going out to dinner, which I'm really excited about. We're going to go see the Bean. But do you know what? I'm just telling you guys all the things. I for sure struggle with anxiety, which I never would have identified as someone that struggles with anxiety. But my mom had sent me this, it was this document or article or something, and it was about high functioning anxiety or like high achiever anxiety. I'm like, oh my God, that's me. So, and I think everyone probably has a level of anxiety when it comes to going somewhere new. Like, oh my God, I'm going to have to get in an Uber and I'm going to have to like find the restaurant and I'm going to have to like get it. Like, that's out of my comfort zone, you know? And that's okay. Like, that's where growth happens. But so, all I'm sharing with you guys is I have a goal this trip to really be present and mindful and to not let my anxiety, I don't want to say ruin my trip, but like hold me back from like fully enjoying the experience. Like, let's say at the restaurant, we're sitting there and we're eating. I'm already anxious about will we get a Uber home? Like, will it be too late? Will I not sleep tonight? And I for sure, I have a lot of anxiety. I do think I manage it really well. But I'm going to really try and control that and remind myself that I don't know if I'm going to sleep well tonight, but I can do all the things that I know I can do to sleep well. That actually reminds me, should I bring something to help me sleep? My friend takes Gravol, but I'm such a weirdo when it comes to taking medicine, but I might want to do that. Do I write that on a note somewhere, everyone? Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to write meds on here. I don't know, Advil, Tylenol, Gravol. What is the thing that people take to sleep? Magnesium? No, a melatonin. I'm going to ask my friend Chelsea. She knows all the hippie things about all the hippie things. Okay, wow. So I am all of that to say, I'm getting ready to go. So I am going to be recording another podcast after this. Okay, also going back to sharing my life on the internet, guys. Last weekend, I went on a mom's retreat, a mom's weekend away, something that we do once a year. We, us moms, pick a weekend, do our best. I am not going to lie to you, to get 10 moms at one location for 2 sleeps. It was something. It was something. Not everyone could stay both nights. We just had kids' activities. And you know what? Actually, we could have, but some people prioritized going to their kids' activities, right? And no judgment. We're all different. And some had a stayed and skipped kids' activities, or their kids didn't have activities. Anyways, it's something we do once a year. And this year, our friends were like, "Oh, we should bring wigs and like recreate." There was like this reel on the internet with when there was moms walking out. They had matching pajamas. I don't know if you guys saw it, and they were wearing wigs. And we're like, "Hey, let's do it." Well, we ended up like kind of doing it, and then we put our wigs on. And I have been watching the Secret Life of Mormon Moms or Mom Talk, whatever it's called. And I was like, "Ooh, we should do a Mom Talk like thing." And I brought it up in TikTok. I showed everyone the thing, and we recreated it. Well, guys, viral reel, my first viral reel, over 1 million views. It's actually insane. Like, never in a million years would I have thought that that reel would be, I didn't even think it was that good. So it's at 1.3 million views, which is insane to me. 48.8 thousand shares, over 1,000 comments, 40,000 likes. It's just something. It's just something. Anyways, so viral reel. Like I said, I love sharing my life on the internet. So I'm going to make sure that I capture all the stuff while I'm away, but I'm really going to try and be present and enjoy. You know, I work so hard and I really look forward to these experiences. And there's a lot of anxiety ridden. Like, I'm putting myself in a situation to be anxious. So like, I am speaking on a panel. That is such a cool experience and I want to enjoy it. And so I need to like get out of my own head. There's an award ceremony where I have to walk across the stage. I need to get out of my own head. Okay. I don't even have all my outfits picked because the award ceremony is like sparkle. And I had 2 sparkly dresses. I'm like, it's fine. You don't need to buy anything, Alicia. But then the shoes that I had to match those dresses weren't comfy. And I realized I was going to be standing for a long time. So then, of course, I needed a new dress. And then because I needed a new dress, I needed new shoes. So there's stuff coming like today and Sunday, like stress me out the day before I leave. Anyways, it's all going to arrive. I'm going to figure it out and everything's going to be great. Do you see? Do you see my stress and anxiety increasing? Ah! Okay. So, wow. I actually came here to talk to you guys about inflammation today. So I shared on the internet yesterday, there was a photo of me that I saw from 2 years ago that made me really take a step back. And I was really like, and it wasn't, I will put it as the photo of this podcast so you guys can really see. And I saw that photo and I really took a step back. And you know what? Inflammation is a word that like people are throwing around and I'm like, is this a thing? Like, are you really inflamed or and I'm going to be really honest, or did you just gain weight? Like, and so I just didn't really explore it. I just kind of like put it on the side. But after seeing that photo, I was like, okay, Alicia, something's going on in your body and your face is trying to tell you. Now, I had other symptoms as well. So, like I've shared with you guys before about my joint pain, my tiredness, and for sure significant brain fog. But here's the thing as well, those are also like perimenopause symptoms. So like sometimes it's hard to identify. And also, is it the chicken or is it the egg? Like, do I have inflammation because I'm going through perimenopause now? Or am I going through, or do I have inflammation and perimenopause at the same time? Wait, I just have to ask ChatGPT something. Guys, if you're not best friends with ChatGPT, I don't know what's up. Oh, I just wrote that in the thing because not only do I use ChatGPT every day, I use the audio. Is there a link between increase of inflammation and perimenopause? Let's see what ChatGPT has to say about this. Yes, there's a strong link between increased inflammation and perimenopause. And you're absolutely not imagining it if you felt more puffy, tired, or off in your body. That is exactly how I was feeling. So, what's happening during perimenopause? Obviously, is you're having the fluctuation of estrogen and progesterone, and these hormones changes affect every system in your body, especially your immune response and inflammation levels. So, estrogen has anti-inflammatory effects. So, if your estrogen is decreasing, potentially your inflammation is increasing. Okay. Poor sleep equals more inflammation. Well, that often comes with perimenopause, right? Change in your gut health as well. That the gut microbiome, we talked about that. I feel like I talked about that last week or the week before. I feel like I talked about the gut on the podcast. If I didn't, send me a message and I'll record one. Okay, so there is a huge link. So it was just kind of like what's going on. Now let's talk about weight gain. Like, how do I know if I'm gaining weight or how do I know if it's just inflammation? Inflammation is not going to be this increased gain. So I need you guys to pause and take a step back. And I want you to be able to identify what is actually going on in your body so that you can find a targeted solution. And if you are honest with yourself and the trend of the scale has been going up, it's not inflammation, it's weight gain. Now, it's probably both. Okay. But it's not only inflammation. It's also weight gain. And also, while we're talking about it, that's also a symptom of perimenopause. Now, it's not like the flick gets switched and you turn 42 and you gain 10 pounds, even though it feels like that. There's a lot of things that are happening, right? You're losing muscle, your lifestyle's changing, you're not as active. And so that can result in that weight gain. All right. So I just kind of we're just going to talk about it. So, and also most things that cause inflammation can result in weight gain. So it's really intertwined. And you know what? I would love for everyone to just kind of take a step back and be like, where are you right now? Like, are you happy? Are you thriving? Is your wellness thriving? And if you say yes, I'm going to be like, crushing it, amazing, continue, so happy for you, like good for you, right? But if I ask you, are you currently thriving when it comes to your overall wellness? And I just think using the concept of wellness is so much more powerful because it includes all the things. It can include inflammation. It can include taking care of your hormones. It can include weight loss. It's all of the things. It's a bigger umbrella and it feels like a bigger purpose. So if you are telling me I am thriving right now in my wellness, then I'm like amazing. But if you say no, then I'm going to be like, okay, do you want to work on changing it? And if you say yes, the good news is the things that are going to decrease your weight, support your hormones, and decrease your inflammation, pretty much all the same. Okay. So, how do I know if it's only inflammation? It's going to come and go. Okay. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, wow, I'm like so poofy. And then I'm like back to normal. Okay. You hold water, which if you're really in tune with your body, you can realize that like there's times where like, wow, I'm not peeing a lot. I really am super in touch with my body right now. And they'll have days where I pee so much. I'm like, wow, my body is like releasing water. I see a massive correlation between alcohol, food, and my inflammation. And this has been something that I've learned over time by just being in touch with my body. Everyone is different. Not everyone reacts the same way. Not everyone is as sensitive to processed foods and alcohol and inflammation in their body. And you know what? Even if you are, you don't have to change it. You do you, you figure out what's going on. But holding water is a huge one. Fatigue, brain fog, joint pain. Those are all indications of inflammation and not just weight gain, digestive issues, okay? Weight gain, how do I know if I'm gaining weight? The trend of the scale is going up. Guys, if the trend of the scale is going up, it's not just inflammation. Okay. And I'm saying this to you with love because I don't want you to feel frustrated. All right. So we are going to look at this. We are going to put our CEO hats on, and we are not going to be the victims of our hormones, the victims of our bodies. We are going to look at our current situation. We're going to look at our resources, and we're going to be like, okay, how can I make the most of what I have access to? What do I want to focus on? You know, I was just having a conversation with someone because I had shared a lot about inflammation, and someone said, I need your help. I'm doing it all right, but I'm still gaining weight. And I need to pause because it's interesting because I was having a conversation about inflammation, and then she responded with a conversation about weight gain. So one that really important, I'm like, we're actually having two different conversations. That's okay. We can have both conversations and they definitely overlap, but I just want you to make it so clear what we're doing right now. Because if you're saying, I just want to lose weight, that's a different conversation than I want to decrease my inflammation. And if you say, I just want to lose weight, and you say, I want to be overall well, that's a different conversation. So before we have the conversation, I need you to really clarify in your brain, what is the conversation? Where are you at? What are you feeling drawn to right now? Obviously, I'm on a super intense wellness journey. It's making me throw up in my mouth. Does that make it better? If I explain to you guys, like, you know, I in a million years never thought that I would be at the point where I wasn't drinking as much alcohol. I'm not drinking a lot of coffee. I'm trying to like respect my cortisol levels. That one is probably my worst. I'm trying to, you know, sleep more. I'm trying to manage my anxiety. I'm trying to, you know, I'm eating nutrient dense foods. Like I always did that, but just the amount of things that I'm doing, I'm like, wow, she is really in her wellness era, and I am. And funny enough, drinking alcohol and like eating processed foods just almost like doesn't even feel worth it to me anymore, which is just an interesting concept, right? Because before I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait for a girls' night. Can't wait to drink some cocktails. I don't think that way anymore. And I guess I never really thought I was going to get to that point. Anyway, wow, side note. Okay, let's come back to you being badass bosses and you taking charge. And now here's the piece. I have a conversation with people all the time. They basically say to me, but I'm not eating that bad. Or I've done nothing different. And here's where I need to unlock for you guys when it comes to your mindset around this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you are doing. It doesn't matter what you're not doing. It doesn't matter that you haven't changed anything. What actually matters is how you're feeling and the results you're getting. We have so much of our worth wrapped up in how we show up in the world and what we eat and how we move our body that we almost think that we're deserving of a certain energy level or a certain look if we're eating vegetables, if we're moving our body. And that's not a thing. That doesn't exist. So again, instead of you focusing on your actions, what you are doing, what you're not doing, I want you to focus on the results you're currently getting and how you're feeling. Again, let's leave space for you to be like, well, this sucks. There's some like funny viral reels right now on the internet that's like, I don't know if you guys have seen them. It's like a woman like falling down the stairs and it's like how you feel about needing to eat like 5,600 grams of protein, wear a weighted vest just to feel 41. And like, I feel that to my core. And it's okay if you want to feel almost like annoyed, Picasso, like, oh, Bella, like, I'm doing all of this and I still feel like this. Like, you have that moment. Have the I feel sorry for myself. This sucks, but move past it. Let's move past it. Okay. At the end of the day, is your current lifestyle giving you the wellness results that you're looking for? It is a yes or no question. And if you say no, I want more energy. I want to feel better in my skin. I want to lose weight. I want less brain fog. I support you. Let's go for it, but own it. Head held high. We got this. Okay. I just like needed to throw in that little pep talk, guys. And, I really had a moment where I didn't feel like my lifestyle had changed that much, but it was no longer working. The lifestyle that was never a problem before, all of a sudden was a problem. Drinking alcohol was a problem. Drinking coffee was a problem. And so I had to make the choice. Even if I hadn't changed anything, I still was faced with a choice. Okay. And I just wanted to, again, I wanted to like share with you guys, like that happened to me too. But then I didn't want, and you can also choose to like be like, oh, this is it. You can choose that too. But I wanted to choose wellness. I wanted to choose feeling my best. Okay, so now what? You've listened to all of this and you're like, Alicia, I want to decrease my inflammation. Let's go. Whole Foods. Okay? And listen, I'm not about to list anything magical. I am not going to give you this magical prescription. I'm not going to wave my magical wand. But I am going to remind you of the lifestyle things that you have access to that you can start tomorrow. And before I give you my list, and if you're listening, you're like, oh, I'm doing everything right. No, you're not. No one is. That isn't a thing. That doesn't exist. Every single person on this planet could do more. It's not about doing the most. It's about doing what works for you. It's about building towards a different lifestyle, building towards new habits. It's about progress. It's not about doing the most. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing more than what you're currently doing. That like whole 1% better every day thing, that's a real thing. Real thing. Okay, Whole Foods. Okay, processed foods are inflammatory. Done, point. It is what it is. Hydrate. Water, 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 water. Often your body will hold water if you're not giving it enough. So make sure you give it what it needs. Sleep, prioritize sleep, have a good sleep hygiene, stress management. So trying to manage your cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone and it's in charge of a lot of things. Your hormones are in charge of all the things. And so if you can find a way to manage your stress, you're going to feel better and have reduced inflammation. Reducing sugar. Okay. I'm not saying sugar is bad. Not saying that. Not saying you can't have sugar, but reducing your sugar will reduce your inflammation. Reducing alcohol. Alcohol is super inflammatory. Okay. You choose what you do with that information. Move your body. Move your body. Okay. Now, also supplements. There's some supplements that you can take that are going to help with your inflammation. Turmeric, omega-3, ashwagandha, and magnesium. So those 4 are recommended if you are working on your anti-inflammation and you want to use the tool of supplementing to support you along that journey. Now, of all of those things that I listed, if you ate more whole foods, you hydrated more, you slept better, you managed your stress, you reduced your sugar, you reduced your alcohol, you reduced your processed food, you moved your body, do you think you might also create weight loss? You might. There's no guarantee. Because remember, to create weight loss, you need to create a calorie deficit. And in order to create a calorie deficit, we want your body like functioning and doing all of the things that we want it to do at like optimal levels. So I guess my whole point here of like what I'm like bringing back together is if you want weight loss or you want you want to reduce your inflammation, The path is pretty similar, but keep your eye on the prize. And all of those things I just listed also supports hormone health. So again, it's really more like this like holistic wellness approach. You're going to look less puffy. Your face, it's in my face. Someone asked me in that transformation photo that I shared, they said what when it was to do with my inflammation, you can also just see the coloring in my face. Like it's crazy. And I wasn't a hot mess express there, but I wasn't as dialed into, supplementing, minimally processed foods, reducing alcohol. My glow is insane. Like you can literally see in my face the difference of my health. Like you can see it. So you will start to see your face depuff, even if maybe you don't create weight loss on the scale. But that's kind of telling you, like, okay, like it's working. It's working. I'm doing this. Keep going. And then eventually, if you continue with those habits, I think you'll also see a decrease on the scale. Okay, everyone. I'm going to wrap this up. I just wanted to come here, have a little pep talk about inflammation. Make sure we are not using this as a crutch. Also, if you think you're struggling with chronic inflammation, so like arthritis or a what's it called, an autoimmune disease, obviously go have a conversation with your doctor, right? I had when I one of my biggest clues was my joint pain. I went and got x-rays. I had conversations with the doctor. They're like, it's not arthritis. So I continued down that path. But if you really feel like you need the support of like a doctor, obviously go and do that. See your doctor, have this conversation, do a test for inflammation. Um, and then work at those lifestyle things that you have control over, that you can access, that are free. Start working at those. Okay, everyone. Wow. Have an amazing day.